Amazing sight in the sky. The supermoon occurred earlier today, and that means the moon was the closest to the Earth in nearly 70 years.
And check out this beautiful shot captured in the Big Apple, a plane flying past that incredible supermoon.
But the beautiful sight bringing with it some tidal trouble as well, causing another round of those king tides here in South Florida.
We have team coverage at noon on the king tides. Local 10 News reporter Ben Kennedy, he is live in Fort Lauderdale with a look at the flooding from today.
And our Weather Authority meteorologist Trent Eric has more right now on how it all occurred. Let's get to Ben first.
Chrissy, Janice, the water level has gone down this afternoon. In fact, the sidewalk where I am standing used to be under an inch of water. That is no longer the case. But yes, people did prepare. In fact, take a look right here behind me. Sandbags are up against this door to keep things dry. King tides moved into South Florida, causing roads and sidewalks to flood. This sign posted along Las Olas Boulevard, warning drivers to slow down.
A mess. The tide is ridiculous. You can't walk through it.
Bob Gutag had to cut his walk short and carried his dog to higher ground.
It's frustrating because not only if the tides with the moon, but even on a heavy rain, it's the same thing. The streets flood. If you leave a car on the street, it's basically totaled if you don't know it's coming because the water goes way above the door.
In response, the city of Fort Lauderdale has put in tidal valves to go under the street, blocking water from coming up storm drains. A supermoon is behind the king tide. In fact, the moon hasn't been this close to the U.S. in 69 years. The more gravitational pull is what leads to bigger tides, but the impressive sight brings another round of flooding.
In the last 5 years, we've seen what looks to be like an acceleration of sea level rise, and that translates into bigger king tides.
A viewer shared with us this video of king tides in Pompano Beach. It's there you can see Canal Street and A1A is underwater. Back live to Fort Lauderdale, where the next high tide is at 8:03 tonight, 7:43 p.m. for Miami. So best advice is to take it slow on the roadways. Also put those boots by the door because you might need them. Reporting live in Fort Lauderdale, Ben Kennedy, Local 10 News.
All right, Ben, thanks so much. Let's get over to Trent now for more on all this.
Yeah, and this happens at a new and a full moon cycle, and this morning that's when the full moon occurred here and that closest approach to Earth. And from this point forward, it starts getting a little bit better. By the 16th here, we'll start to see the king tide subside. And just to give you an idea here of the tide times going through the rest of tonight into tomorrow with that flood advisory for Dade and Broward, we're looking at this evening and we're concentrating on those high tide times. At Miami Harbor entrance, it's 8:13 p.m., low at 2 in the morning, and then again as we look ahead towards the next morning at 8:59 a.m. That will be Tuesday. And then moving up towards the New River here in Fort Lauderdale, high tide time tonight around 8:30. The lowest will be just before 3 a.m. and then again on Tuesday morning at 9:07 a.m. So those times fluctuate up and down the coastline as the water moves through. Two other factors we look at: no additional water being added from rainfall, and as far as the wind, it's light today out of the east, so it won't be dramatically piling that water on our coastline. We do have some changes in the forecast, an increased chance of rain for tomorrow and a cold front. We'll talk about some cooler temperatures. Stick around. We'll be back in a few minutes.